Hey guys, Master Spence, I am back with another Star Wars video. This one's gonna be trying to keep it shorter. It is very late, it's almost 1:30. Thought I'd be sleeping by now. Basically, this is gonna be a theory video. Almost was thinking prediction, but that wasn't the right word. This is a episode 7 theory video of basically mostly about Rey. I will also give my thoughts on Snoke, but there's a lot more to talk about with Rey than Snoke. So let's get right into it right away. I have 3 different general possibilities with Rey and if she could be related to anybody. The third one is that she isn't related to anybody in the Skywalker lineage or anyone that we met in the original trilogy. She could be the offspring of either original characters or maybe someone that we heard of but never saw, or just something like that. That she's an original character, offspring of another original character, or someone that wasn't featured heavily in the original trilogy. Obviously, the reason why her parents would have left her there would be more unknown than if the would be than the next 2 theories that I have. The only thing that I can think of is that I honestly can't really think of any reason why her original parents would drop her off there unless there was trouble going on personally with them. Um, I would have to assume it's something with the First Order, so that's my opinion on that. The next most likely one, in my opinion, would be, and this is where a lot of people don't necessarily see eye to eye. The next most popular opinion, or at least in my opinion, not the most likely, but the second most likely, would be that Rey has been not trained, but has seen Luke before somehow. And the reason why I believe this, and specifically, I believe she's been on that island before where she went and found Luke in the end. The reason why I believe this, and I actually talked to a random moviegoer who had also just walked out of the theater, honestly, today. I had seen it for the second time. I think it was his first time seeing it. And I told him my theory, which goes as follows. And he actually was really receptive to it, so I hope you guys are too. Leave your comments in the section below. Here it goes. So in The Force Awakens, Kylo Ren ends up capturing Rey and puts her on Starbase Killer, or Star Killer Base. My bad, Star Killer Base. Sorry, it's late. And tries to interrogate her. When he's using the Force to look inside her mind, so to speak, he starts to say, I see it. I see a wide ocean, or a big ocean. I see the island. If you guys notice at the end of the movie, where they find Luke is on an island in the middle of a huge ocean. And it looks like there's only a couple islands throughout the planet. It doesn't look like there's a lot of land. It's mostly water. This leads me to believe, specifically because I believe that when Kylo Ren was using the Force to look into her mind, that it was a memory in the distant reaches of her mind rather than a vision. It could be a vision, obviously, but I'm going that it's a memory that she had in the past. And just by the age difference of the actors, I don't know the exact age difference, but it does look like they're probably between 5 and 10 years apart, with Kylo Ren obviously being older, which would make sense, in my opinion, to... it would be a lot easier to say this if they were closer to 10 years apart, which would I think fall into the range of basically Rey being that young girl that we see being dropped off, I think that would put her in the range of being that young when Kylo Ren just probably turned dark. Because we don't know how long he's dark in this movie, but it seems like it's only been at most a couple years. And from how many marks were on Rey's, I don't know, wall in her living dwelling, um, it looks like she's been there at least a couple years, maybe even more, honestly. So that leads me to believe she's at least seen that island before, possibly had her mind wiped by Luke Skywalker, or uh, probably Luke Skywalker, possibly Kylo Ren, but I believe it's probably that Luke Skywalker wiped her mind to protect her so she wouldn't remember. Uh, I wouldn't say that her training, because I don't really think she was trained very much, but I don't. He probably wiped it so she wouldn't remember her history and how she knew, obviously, Kylo Ren, who she would end up facing in a really fantastic lightsaber battle in the end of the movie. Um, so that leads me to uh, the second most likely option, as well as the first most likely option, in my opinion. The second most likely option is that she was dropped, or not dropped off, given to Luke when she was a little girl, just like the normal Jedi would go get the Force-sensitive babies when they were 2 or 3 years old. Probably younger, a lot younger, they would pick them up too. And Luke took her when she was really young, started to look after her, train her tiny bits. I think he probably taught her the Force Mind trick, probably, and uh, a little bit more, because it's very rare usually that a new Jedi or a new person who's Force sensitive who hasn't really been trained very much to use that mind trick. I've like at least that's my opinion. I know it did take her a little while for it to work, but it worked anyway nonetheless. So to me, it makes me believe that either she was dropped or given to Luke by her parents, who I'm not ruling out could be Han Solo. Um, I don't think it's very likely. The only thing I could see them doing is having Han and Leia's mind wiped, or even they don't need to do that. But it to me it doesn't help that Han and Leia didn't. You don't know if they didn't recognize her, but they didn't. I mean, it's a lot. Their reaction is a lot different than when they see Kylo, because obviously everyone knows. Well, if you've seen the movie, everyone now knows that Kylo Ren is their son, and their reaction was very emotional. When they saw Rey, it was pretty emotional, but it wasn't to the same level as Ren. Um, so either that could mean that she was very young when they last saw her, so she has Leia probably has a feeling, and so does Han, but they don't know for sure. So that could be possible, I believe. My most likely prediction, I think, is going to be that I think, besides the lightsaber calling out to her, I think that lightsaber is specific to Skywalker lineage, considering that it was Skywalker's lightsaber and then Luke's. It just makes sense to me. Um, and then, mostly my main belief behind this is the fact that Kylo Ren saw the island on the ocean, or in the middle of the ocean, before Rey even knew where Luke was. So, to me, that just proves that even though Rey didn't know where he was, she's been there before somehow and has a memory of the island where he was staying. So that to me that proves that somehow Rey has been there before. Either I think it's obvious that she has been at least looked after by a Jedi. Whether she was trained or trained very lightly, that's up for debate. But I think she's been there before. I think that's not even up for debate. I would bet right now, if I had to, that Luke is her father, honestly, just because that's my personal feeling. But I'm very 50-50 right now on whether she was there as Luke's daughter or just sorry, random person, or I guess not random if it's Han Solo and Leia's daughter. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I would love to keep talking about this with you guys. I can talk about Star Wars in general until I die. which hopefully isn't for many, many years. But, yep, let me know in the comment section below. Give me your theories about maybe where Rey is from, where you think her parents were from, and why they dropped her off. In terms of Snoke, I'm not completely sold that he's Darth Plagueis. I honestly, Plagueis is one of the characters I know the least. Not like it's not obscure. I know a good amount about him. I know he was obviously Palpatine's master. He was a Rune. He was really tall. I don't. I know it's a hologram, but he was pretty tall in The Force Awakens, and I'm hoping he wasn't. He's not that tall in person. I'm hoping because I don't think that's true to Darth Plagueis, and obviously it doesn't have to be, but it definitely helps to be sure if it is more accurate. So that's one thing. I would probably bet right now that he's Plagueis if I had to, but I'm not 100% comfortable saying that right now. But yeah, let me know what you think about Snoke as well. If you guys like him, obviously with the scars going horizontally and vertically on his face, pretty much he's been through some pretty tough times and seems like he's been around a while. I also have a theory about the Knights of Ren, and it's very clear and stated that Luke had not just one follower, but many that he was trying to bring up in the Force. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Knights of Ren ended up being those followers, with Kylo being the leader, since he was the one that went bad, so to speak, and probably got the rest of them to follow him. I wouldn't be surprised, which would also bring more light to the fact why he, if he was training Rey or had Rey with him, why he would drop her off on Jakku just to protect her. Obviously, I think it's smart to have her take her chances as a unknown Force sensitive person on Jakku rather than have her take her chances against, even though he's not very as powerful as Darth Vader yet, I believe he will be possibly. I still wouldn't, I would rather take her on Jakku unknowingly being Force sensitive over knowing she's Force sensitive and having to battle Kylo and not being ready, and she's probably dead before this trilogy even starts. So once again, thank you guys for watching. You guys, without you guys, none of this, none of my goals will or would be possible in the future. Show all your friends this if you would like. Do whatever you'd like. I'm open. Taking criticism, whatever you guys like. I need as much feedback as possible. I would honestly, my goal is to see where this leads. I will do pretty much any video you guys want. I know without you guys, pretty much I wouldn't be able to do this for anything. I'm not sponsored obviously right now, but that's what I would like to be. However long it takes, but that's it. That's all I got for now, guys. So, Master Spence I am signing out. May the Force be with you.